Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the WayzVerse. Yeah. I'm your boy, OG Tim Wilson. We want to thank you for coming in to the What Up Though Show Network. And we want to welcome you to the WayzVerse. In the building with me, I got my homies, Big Ed, and of course, we got Waze. Can't get in the WayzVerse without him. Hey. Waze. What's happening, man?
Man, not much at all. Just sitting here chilling. I got an extra day off of work this week because Sophia had a fever this morning. So I'm just happy to be doing something other than dealing with a sick kid.
Oh, I feel you on that one. I feel you on that one. Big Ed, what's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Except for I did drop something today. It finally came out.
Okay.
The album finally came out. Lit Lance, timing is everything.
Lit Lance, timing is everything. Make sure y'all check it out. Where can they see it? It's on Spotify, right?
It's on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Pandora, YouTube. It's on all of them.
Yo, give it a play, man. Check it out. Big Ed produced the whole album, right?
Yep, the whole album.
So Big Ed produced the whole album. Lit Lance, timing is everything. It is available on Spotify and where else?
All the streaming platforms: Apple, iTunes, Tidal, Deezer, SoundCloud,
YouTube,
everywhere. See that?
Everywhere.
I listen to everything on Spotify. That's why that's all I know. Everything
okay.
Yep. Same here.
It's all a blur for me. I heard Spotify and all and everything else.
Yep. All streaming platforms, even Deezer.
Deezer. All right, I dig it.
What Up Though show used to be on Deezer. It was on Deezer. It was on Deezer. I forgot what else I was on. I was on Stitcher. Stitcher is now defunct. No more Stitcher. I think Spotify bought them out and shut it down.
I believe they did.
Yeah, that's what TNT did back in the day. Turner Network.
Mm-hmm.
There was another channel that it came out. I forgot the name of it, and it was.
Wasn't it TBS?
It was no. I'm talking way before that.
Oh, okay.
It was the early days of cable because the Turner Network took off first, and then there was he started with there was a damn I forget it was something else that came out and he bought that motherfucker and shut it down, and then he blew right back up again. I would just buy my competitor and shut it down. That's the best thing I can do. I ain't gonna try to improve it. I'm gonna shut it down so that you gotta watch me.
Man.
Anyway, that said, man, it's been a cool. Big ups to Big Ed, man, on that, man. Congratulations, and I wish you all the best on it. I wish you luck. It's a good project. I only heard one song, so I did play the one song. I've been at work all day, so I didn't get to check it out, but I did listen to the one song that I heard, the first one that you sent me, because at first you were sending a song at a time, and then you sent the whole.
Yep.
So I heard that first song.
That was brand new.
Yeah, I think. So yeah, we're gonna listen to some of that though. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do it. We might do it. We might do something tonight, a special episode tonight, a special something just to review it, or that might be the topic of the What Up Though show this weekend. We're gonna play it by ear, but we definitely gonna do a show dedicated to that project and make sure that we give it all a good listen.
Absolutely.
Break it down.
Thank you.
Do some breakdown on it. Talk about his shit. Oh, and it was announced today that the Bears have made a trade. Did y'all hear about that?
No.
They traded the number 9 pick and a future second rounder for the 3rd overall pick in the draft. Yes, I just made that shit up.
I was gonna say, that don't even sound correct. Like, that don't make no sense.
but I did just I just wanted to throw that out there for shits and giggles. Wade, what are we talking about tonight, man?
Man, you brought up the Turner Network earlier. So it's only fitting that we talk about NBA greats this week.
Okay.
We're going to go
of
over
basketball,
exactly.
before you go there, just want to say big ups to the national champion South Carolina Gamecocks for the women and the Yukon Huskies for the men. So big ups to both of them and congratulations to those two schools and those two areas.
Oh yeah,
championships. All right, didn't want to interrupt you there, but I just had to because you mentioned basketball and realized that we didn't do a show, so we didn't get to talk about we didn't do an off season. We didn't get to talk about the girls and the guys that won. So
yeah,
that's our champions: Yukon for the men and South Carolina for the women. South Carolina undefeated.
Yeah,
undefeated season.
They've been nasty for the last. What was it? They've only had a total of 3 losses in the last 3 years.
That is correct. That's a hell of a record, right?
Man.
All right. So let's talk about it, Ways. What are we doing about the NBA legends, you said?
All right. So we're giving our Mount Rushmore of NBA greats this week.
Okay.
Oh, that's going to be a hard one.
That is a very hard one.
Yes.
Because it's only 4 heads on Mount Rushmore, and that's not enough.
No.
No. I'm gonna go Dylan. Okay, I'll go first. This is extremely hard. This is extremely hard, but I will go first. I'm gonna go with the 2 staples there. I'm gonna go, and even though I put these in an opposite position, I can't deny the impact. So because of impact, I'm going to name it in this order. Jordan, LeBron is my 1-2. Jordan, LeBron is my 1-2. I want to put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Okay.
And it's a very tough call on number 4 because I'm going to go with Larry Bird.
Oh,
I like Larry.
Oh,
I like Larry.
All right. I'm going to go Jordan and LeBron. Kobe and Bill Russell.
That's a good list.
That is a good list. My 1 and 2 are Kobe and LeBron. Jordan will be my number 3 with Shaq at number 4.
Wow. Okay.
And I mine is completely based on who I've actually seen. I think it's only fair that I can judge my personal Mount Rushmore on what I've actually had the opportunity to experience. Larry Bird and Bill Russell and all of them is kind of a little before my time, so I didn't get to actually see a lot of these greats in action, other than a few clips here and there on TikTok or YouTube or something. So I didn't think it would be very honest of me to include them on my Mount Rushmore.
And that's why I left Bill and Wilt off. Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell, I think, deserve to be there just on accomplishments alone. But I left them off for the same reason. They were before my time. Larry Bird was not. I mean, I was there for Larry Bird versus Magic in the NCAA finals. Leave alone their pro career. So I was there for all of it. And the only reason I didn't put Magic there is because I didn't want to put 2 teammates. And if I had to choose between Kareem and Magic, it's hard to not. It's hard to not pick Kareem.
Right.
The guy that never lost a game in high school, only lost 1 game in college, and then won 7 championships. Yeah, I mean, he's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. and until recently, he was the leading scorer of all times, a record that he held for over 40 years until LeBron broke it this year.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, if I have to choose between Kareem and Magic, I had to go with Kareem. And I am sorry, I have to take somebody off of there. And I was trying not to. I really, I got it. Somebody got to go. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a homer. I want to put Isaiah up there so bad, but I'm not going to be a homer. I'm not going to be a
Right.
homer. But I was really debating with Larry Bird and Dr. J. That's my last one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Larry Bird and Dr. J had similar impact. At the time, the Doc was everything. But Larry Bird went to a team that had the second pick in the draft because they were the second worst team in the league.
Mm.
Right.
And they went to the Eastern Conference Finals his first year.
And was damn near there every year after that.
So let's not sell that man short. Larry the Legend is a mother. I mean, he's got some incredible highlights. He used to do some incredible stuff back then. So, I like all the lists though. I mean, Kobe was close to me. The only reason I didn't put Kobe because I thought he was too much like Jordan, and I think him and Jordan are. But Kobe still had huge impact. He may have even been more popular than Kareem in L.A. I mean, I may have been the most popular Laker ever.
My reasoning for putting Kobe in front of Jordan is personality-wise, I find Kobe to be far more relatable. And I think him having that relatability kind of makes him a little more greater because he can actually connect with the people than to only inspire.
Big Ed looked like he wanted to disagree with you.
Yeah. Because Kobe had the same attitude and personality that Mike had. I'm going to win at all costs, and I'm going to be the reason we win.
Yeah.
To me. I mean, that's where the Mamba mentality comes from. He copied Jordan's. When Jordan came in the league, the Bulls was full of cokeheads and drunks. And Jordan whipped that shit around, and he was like, no, we ain't doing that no more.
Yeah, but he was also Kobe was also able to separate and have a personal life that was outside of his basketball life. Something that it doesn't seem like Jordan was able to do.
I don't know about that. They both were pretty much family guys. Jordan was a family guy. And Jordan, as far as personal life outside, Jordan was a gambler. Jordan spent a lot of time in Vegas smoking cigars and drinking cognac, and he played. Yeah, he was a big golfer. He had a lot more. He was a lot more outgoing than Kobe. Kobe. After Kobe got in trouble, he became a family man.
That and ball. That was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
Working out, getting ready. The work ethic, his work ethic was unmatched.
Yeah.
Kobe had the incredible work ethic. And when you listen to guys that experienced him, not just teammates, but guys, the greatest stories for me about Kobe was when I watched the documentary about the Redeem Team. You familiar with the Redeem Team?
Yeah.
So that was after I think it was Argentina defeated the U.S. and U.S. didn't get the gold, and they so Kobe and LeBron and Melo and them cats, they said, okay, we going out there and playing the Olympics this year. We ain't gonna let the U.S. lose the gold medal, right? And so these were guys that were his peers, his rivals, his competitors, who was his teammates for the first time, right? So they didn't see Kobe behind the scenes before. They just saw Kobe on the court. I know what Kobe is. You got to deal with him. So this is their first time experiencing who Kobe was and how he got prepared, his preparation. And they say, you know, we get there and we all like, yo, let's go out, we go hang, we go party, and we go out to the club, shit. We get back, we walking back in, Kobe walking past us, like, what's up, man? What you headed to? Headed to the gym. Kobe,
Yep.
Kobe working out. Y'all, while y'all out hanging, Kobe getting ready. Kobe getting ready.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, just that's that lead by example.
Yep.
Attitude. Like I am going to be, while I'm the best player on the team, I'm also going to be the one that works the hardest.
Yeah.
So how do you feel like how do you justify not working as hard as you can when the best player on your team works as hard as he can?
Yep.
I'm working as hard as I can to be the best I can be. You're not as good as me, but you don't work at it. You don't feel like you need to put in this work. How do you justify that? It's a different kind of leader, man. Kobe gets overlooked more because he was so much like Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
If his identity, as far as his game, his style, and everything else was a little more unique, was a lot more unique. If it was so uniquely Kobe, he would be a lot more popular, I believe. I think he would be in a lot more conversations for the GOAT and all of these greatest Mount Rushmores. But I think once you say Jordan, you feel like you already said Kobe.
Yeah.
Yep.
He talking like him, he moves like him, his game is like he patterned all his moves behind Jordan. But what worked for him was that he also patterned his work ethic after Jordan, and so he was able to do all of that stuff.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it still was too Jordan-esque to stand up. LeBron's game ain't shit like Jordan's game.
No.
Nope.
Nothing like it. He don't play like him. He don't look like him. He don't talk like him. It is totally unlike Jordan. So therefore, he has his own identity.
Mm-hmm.
From a game standpoint. I mean, LeBron, what's incredible about LeBron for me was one thing I never paid attention to until I heard somebody say it, and I really started paying attention to how elusive he is, how agile he is, how he moves, and then you think, this dude is the same height and weight as Karl Malone.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Oh wow.
This motherfucker is the same height and weight as Karl Malone. And you think about what Karl Malone's game was, and this guy's playing like a fucking point guard.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what blew me away about LeBron, and if I've ever looked at his game differently. But enough about that.
I got a question for you guys.
Oh shit.
So we're talking about NBA greats, right? So there's some guys who didn't hit that pinnacle of greatness, but still had that popularity and that flair, that little extra something that got them in still within the conversation. Who are some of those guys that you would look at? And I guess for me, one of those examples would be like Allen Iverson.
Yeah, that's a good one.
He'd be close. He'd be on the third round of the Mount Rushmore. One that I'd say is Tim Duncan. He damn near belongs on the first round of the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
Another one, Clyde Drexler.
Mm-hmm. Good choice.
Dominique Wilkins.
Oh, great choice.
Magic, definitely.
Yeah.
Dan Marley.
No.
One of the greatest shooters ever.
Not doing it.
Reggie Miller.
Reggie, yes. Big fan of Dan Marley.
Huge Reggie.
Dan Marley, big ups to him. He's from the Detroit area. But yeah, Dan Marley not sniffing the Mount Rushmore.
No.
Okay.
Oh, Charles Barkley.
Okay.
Second round.
Yeah.
I can hear that. I can see Barkley. Isaiah Thomas,
Mm-hmm.
aforementioned.
Yeah.
Uh,
Patrick Ewing.
well, okay.
He's one of those guys I think is like on the cusp. I wouldn't even say he's like in the talks for Mount Rushmore, but he's right. He's definitely within the conversation of
Conversation with
could he
those
be
guys.
brought up?
Yeah,
Yeah.
with those guys. Yeah, definitely. And of course, Will Chamberlain.
Yeah. Will.
Will Chamberlain.
Julie. Dr. J.
Absolutely.
Did we already say Carl Malone?
We did not. I wouldn't, and I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't either.
I
Getting
would.
12-year-olds pregnant. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if we were talking tandems, the Karl Malone, John Stockton tandem would be in the conversation, but either one of them by themselves is outshined too far. I mean, Stockton probably closer than Malone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of what he could do passing wise. I tell you somebody who probably won't get into the conversation, but love his game, and I think is good enough to be mentioned, and that's Steve Nash.
I was just thinking about Steve Nash.
You know,
Just thinking about him.
when I actually paid attention to basketball, there was one guy I always watched, and for some reason I liked him, but I also like to really talk trash about him as much as I actually liked his game, and that was Sam Cassell.
I used to love Sam Cassell.
Yeah. But he wouldn't be close to a Mount Rushmore.
No, he's not anywhere near close, but he's one of those guys you just kind of had to love.
But there is a Timberwolves from the same team that does belong on there.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett.
Absolutely.
But I got somebody that goes over almost everybody we've named, and I'm almost ashamed that his name is just not coming up. Hakeem Olajuwon.
Ooh.
I knew you were going to say that.
He does
belong.
No.
Not
too supporting cast. No.
Scotty is a no.
He's too supporting cast.
Jason Kidd.
Scotty is underrated, but
he is,
but not to that extent.
Yeah. Right.
Jason Kidd.
I can see Jason Kidd. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, sure. 4 straight finals, and yeah, definitely.
Gary Payton.
Love Gary Payton.
I was thinking Gary Payton too.
Now, I'll say this: if we were breaking this down by positions, some of the people we've named would be there.
Mm-hmm.
If we were doing point guards, Jason Kidd I think would make my list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isaiah, Magic, Kidd,
Chauncey Billups.
Oh.
Chauncey just got into the hall. What about Steph Curry?
Oh yeah, he's kind of made his mark. He's undeniable.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Kevin Durant. While we're on some current players, Kevin Durant.
I wasn't thinking current, but Latrell Sprewell as well.
He was in my top 5 favorite players at the time that he was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I used to love to watch Latrell Sprewell because that dude was electric. But I tell you who was my favorite player at the time, and I hated. I couldn't name another player on his team, but my favorite player to watch, and I call him to this day my most underrated player of all times. His name, he played for the Knicks, and his name was Bernard King. I know that's before Way's time. It might be before his time too.
Yeah.
Bernard King would come in and never pass the ball. And you just couldn't stop. This dude would drop 50 on you in a heartbeat.
Damn.
Bernard King was the livest person to watch play. I'm no D. Just give him the ball. Don't even act like. Just give him the ball. He's gonna Bernard King is Mount Rushmore of underrated players. Bernard King is number one. I'm
yes.
telling you. Look him up. I'm telling you, he'll blow you away. That boy.
When it comes to underlooked
Anybody
players,
watching that knows Bernard King is right now going, yeah.
when it comes to number one players, my number one by far is Ben Wallace.
Crickets.
Yeah.
And I love Ben.
I always loved his game.
I love Ben. You know what? I respect this game. I didn't love his game.
No, I respect it though.
I have utmost respect for his game.
Now, if we was to do one about 6-man, Robert Horry belongs on the top of that list.
I think that goes without saying. I think that is absolutely absolute. But I tell you who's a close second, and that's Jamal Crawford. Jamal Crawford is Vinny Johnson.
Yeah.
It's some 6 men in this conversation now. Don't get me started. I used to be a fan of the 6 men. I was a 6-man fan. Jamal Mashburn.
Yep. Jamal Mashburn. Ray Allen ended up being a 6-man for a time period.
Yeah, Ray Allen was a dog though as a starter.
Yeah.
Where would you rank Giannis? Would you put Giannis in the conversation?
You kind of have to of NBA players today. If we're doing the Mount Rushmore of today,
all time.
Oh, no, I don't. You can't put him up there yet. Not yet. He's got some more work to do. So, especially since his chemistry, man, the Bucks' chemistry has been off ever since they got Dame.
Oh, it's off. Yeah. Absolutely.
So if you can't bring somebody like that in and get it right away, yeah, it's going to be a while. Well, Andre Iguodala.
Hell no.
What?
I was going to say Ginobili.
As a 6-man?
Okay, as a 6-man, yeah. But, it was a 6-man for a minute, but, okay. I mean, as a 6-man, okay. I mean, he was only a 6-man for like a year. He was good for a year as a 6-man. I mean, I put Jalen Rose over.
No, he was a 6-man. He was a 6-man for 4 or 5 years with the Warriors.
Yeah, but he was only good as a 6-man once. I mean, as far as impactful, I would put Jalen Rose over Iggy as a 6-man. Quite frankly, I'll tell you who was a 6-man that was a monster. But actually, no, he wasn't a 6-man. He was not a 6-man. So never mind. I was gonna say Roy Tarpley, but he didn't.
James Harden.
No, I don't.
When he was with Oklahoma,
I don't look at James Harden as a 6-man. And when he was in Oklahoma City, he was so. He didn't shine until he left and went to Houston. That's when everybody, because when he went to Houston, nobody even knew what Houston was getting.
Right.
Because the Harden wasn't no big name.
Ginobili was probably one of my favorite 6-men.
Ginobili, yes. Now we back into talking about some ballers. Yes, Manu Ginobili for sure. Manu Ginobili is probably top 3.
About B.J. Armstrong.
Starter.
No, he was backing up John Paxson.
B.J. Armstrong was the starting point guard for the Bulls at first, and then because Jordan was at point guard, and then they went and got B.J. to be the starting point guard.
Oh,
I mean, as later I
don't remember B.J. as a starter,
and I don't remember him being impactful as a 6-man. That's what I'm saying. I mean, just because he was a 6-man don't make him count.
Right.
I don't think it was like what impact was he? His greater impact was when he was starting because they moved Jordan to shooting guard. And it was like, okay, so now we can let this guy just play the point, and Jordan could just run around and shoot. Now all he got to do is score.
Right.
But yeah, it's been some. I don't know who the sixth man was, but I know whoever was the sixth man on the Lakers team when they had Magic and Kareem should be in the conversation because they ran about 8 deep. they ran about 8 deep strong. So I don't know who was six. I don't know if it was Byron Nixon, if it was Jamal Wilkes. I think it was Jamal Wilkes. Now that I think about it, I think it was Jamal Wilkes, and so I mean, whoever came off the bench for them was definitely in the conversation because they were loaded. They were loaded as hell. They were loaded. Wade, you got another question? I think we beat this one. Pulp.
I don't. We kind of covered it naturally. I was going to bring up our underlooked players and honorable mentions.
Bernard King.
Oh, Muggsy.
Muggsy Bogues.
Muggsy Bogues.
But when you bring up Muggsy Bogues, you got to bring up Spud Webb.
Got to. They go hand in hand.
I think John Starks was an underrated player too.
I agree. Bernard King. Allen Houston was the underrated player. Joe Dumars.
Another Piston. Rip Hamilton.
Almost go hand in hand with Joe Dumars.
Yep.
Did we say Grant Hill?
We did not.
Nope. Vlade Divac.
Loved him. Loves me some Vlade. I tell you who I was a big fan of that y'all is another one that's probably before both y'all time. I'm going to name him and his teammate. And I'll name his teammate first because his teammate is back in the first conversation of players that could be in that same conversation. That's Sean Kemp.
Oh, yeah.
And his teammate that
was Gary Payton.
No. I'm talking about the teammate that overlooked was Dead Left Shrimp.
Oh,
Dead Left.
Oh, yes. Oh, Dead Left. Yep.
What about Chris Mullin?
Chris Mullin.
The first player I saw fall down and shoot a shot from his ass. Bottoms.
Weren't there two Hardaways, Tim and Penny?
There was two Hardaways. Tim played with Chris Mullin, and Penny played with Shaq. Orlando. That was one of the that was a great tandem. Shaq and Penny.
I just thought of another question.
All right.
Who's the greatest tandem?
Oh wow, he just thought of that after I mentioned it twice. Remember I mentioned it with Stockton and Malone earlier, and now I mentioned the tandem of Penny and Shaq. How about Shaq? How about Shaq being a dual tandem guy? Penny and Shaq and Kobe and Shaq.
I was just gonna say because my number one's Kobe and Shaq.
Oh, I think
that's personal preference.
I think that'll be my number one would be Scotty, Jordan and Scotty.
Yeah, number one's Jordan and Scotty for me.
Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, that kind of
Kobe and Shaq.
That kind of
Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah, Kobe and Shaq's number two then, because Jordan and Scotty has to go number one.
Stockton and Malone would be number two. Kobe and Shaq would be number three.
Oh,
for me.
Okay, all right. I mean, and I won't bark it that much because Stockton and Malone would probably be my number four though.
Okay.
My number two is Isaiah and Dumars. Yes, it's a little biased, but
yeah.
Stephen Clay.
Stephen Clay, yeah. KG and Paul Pierce.
That's not a bad one. That's not a bad one.
Oh, and I actually got another one with KG. KG and J.R. Ryder.
Not bad. Not bad. I got another one with Paul Pierce. I used to like when it was Paul Pierce and Antoine Walker.
Oh, that was a good one.
What about Bird and McHale?
That's a good one too. That was a damn good one. Muggsy Bogues and Larry Johnson.
That's actually a pretty underrated one
there.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty underrated. What about LeBron and D Wade?
Yeah, that was a good one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
They are. I know. I just thought of somebody we overlooked. Damn, I guess he would go in the overlooked categories. What about Dirk Nowitzki?
Yes.
Oh, how did he?
and with the tandems, Kid and Nowitzki.
Dirk was a monster, man.
Oh yeah, my number 3 on those tandems was just complete bias. That was Garnett and Stephon Marbury.
Okay, I mean, bias is allowed, and that's not a bad one actually. I thought that's what Big Ed was going to say when he said Garnett, but he said Garnett and Pierce, and I couldn't fight it.
Garnett and Sprewell too.
Oh yeah.
Nasty. What about trios? What about Run TMC? Y'all don't know nothing about Run TMC. Y'all know about Run TMC. Run TMC was Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, and who was C?
One that in Portland?
No, that was in. I think that was in Denver.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know who C would have been.
It was 3 of them. It was Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullin, and one other person. And they used to call him Run TMC. And they was a monster.
They
was a monster. I tell you who was great. Okay, what about this category? Who was great in college, but not so much in the pros? Not necessarily bust in the pros, but just didn't live up to what they were in college. And
Christian Laettner.
Christian Laettner is number 1. Christian Laettner is probably the greatest college basketball player of all times.
Yeah.
He is number 1. I mean, he was on the Dream Team.
Yep.
He was so tough. They put him on the Dream Team, and he was the only college player on the Dream Team. A lot of people. That's trivia for you. Chris Jackson. He changed his name to Raouf.
Oh, Mahmoud Abdul-Rauf.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
for Denver.
He played with LSU with Shaq. Chris Jackson was a monster in college.
Yeah.
I mean, he was cheat code good.
Damn. Bobby Jackson.
Bobby Hurley.
That was another one. Andrew Wiggins.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
that hits close to home. Yeah.
Got another overlooked one. Alonzo Mourning.
Oh yes. Yeah.
I'll tell you who gets overlooked. Kind of Bernard King-ish overlooked, where it's probably a lot of people don't even know that he's overlooked, and that's Glenn Rice.
Glenn Rice was good.
Glenn Rice was money. Glenn Rice was money. He for a while he had the most 50-point games in the league. And Glenn Rice was money. He gets totally overlooked. You know why Glenn Rice gets overlooked so much though? Because he wasn't superstar status where you can't help but to remember him like Reggie Miller.
Mm-hmm.
But when you go on to the NBA 2K and all of these games, he doesn't allow himself to be on those games.
Oh, wow.
So you don't see Reggie Miller, you don't see Glenn Rice. When you go pull up the historic teams, there's no way you're supposed to be able to pull up the historical Miami Heat and not have Glenn Rice.
Right.
Until Dwayne Wade, he was their leading scorer. And he's still probably right behind Dwayne Wade, unless Jimmy Buckets caught him. But yeah, Glenn Rice was monster, but he ain't on none of those games. He never gave EA Sports the rights to use his likeness, and neither did Reggie Miller. Not what Reggie Miller while he was playing did, but in the newer games when you can pull up the historic teams, you could imagine you pull up the historic Indiana Pacers and you can't, and there's no Reggie Miller.
Wow.
But there is none. It's not because he don't belong. It's because he don't allow EA Sports to have the rights to his likeness.
It's 2K now.
Oh yeah.
EA doesn't do a basketball game anymore.
But 2K was originally EA Sports though.
No, they're two separate companies. They've always been two separate.
Oh yeah. They have.
I thought EA Sports made a 2K.
No.
2000. It was the year 2000 was the reason they called it 2K because it was the year 2000, and NBA. I thought it was NBA Sports, NBA 2K.
No, NBA's EA Sports' basketball game was called NBA Live.
Yeah, 2K is like the rivals of EA Sports.
Okay, I'll look into that. I thought I recall they used to be 99 and then they came NBA 2K because it was the year 2000.
No, they've always been since the Dreamcast. They've been two separate companies.
Okay, because there was no NBA 2K before the year 2000.
No, but there was NBA Live.
Yeah, but it would be NBA Live 99, NBA Live 98, NBA Live 97. It would be NBA Live, and it was NBA Live 2K.
No.
I don't know that one. I can't remember. I wasn't big onto the basketball games.
I think it was NBA Live 2000, but 2K is a whole separate company. 2K has always been a whole separate company.
Okay.
Anyways, I got one last.
Maybe it's 2K that they don't have the rights to Reggie Miller.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
EA Sports used to have Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got one last underlooked guy that I'm surprised we haven't brought up at all, and I think he's underlooked because his superstardom was just too big, and that was Dennis Rodman.
I agree. I didn't overlook him. I just didn't think he was in that. But as far as he was,
we're talking rebounders.
I don't think he's in the conversation for the Mount Rushmore. But
no.
I didn't overlook him. I mean, of course, he was a Piston. He's a Piston, even though he's kind of hit superstardom after his Piston days. He was actually very effective as a Piston as well.
Greatest rebounder of all time.
He's one of them. Yeah, he's up there. If not the greatest, he's definitely in the top three. He's definitely in the top three. I would put him up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say yeah. But kind of like Ben Wallace, he wasn't. He was kind of
couldn't do nothing else.
Game was nothing like Ben Wallace, but results are similar. They're both defense and rebound specialists.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you a Dennis Rodman fact that maybe before y'all time, and Piston fans, a lot of people hate this, especially LeBron haters. They hate this stat, especially LeBron haters in Detroit hate this fact. Dennis Rodman created the flop.
Yeah.
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 Dennis Rodman created the flop. He created the flop. And back then, they didn't call it a flop. They didn't know about it. And so it was constantly working. That's why he drew more offensive fouls than anybody that they was calling it. And then everybody started doing it. They got to a point where it's like, okay, wait a minute, we're gonna stop calling it. And now it's a flop. But
now it's a technical.
Back then, he was just drawing offensive fouls left and right.
Mm-hmm.
He flopped better than anybody in the league ever. He's the greatest flopper of all time.
LeBron a close second.
And I don't think so. I don't think LeBron is a great flopper. I mean, he's just the most popular.
I was just gonna say, have you seen him in Space Jam 2? It's not the greatest flopping ever.
Yeah, he's just the most popular player ever in an era where flopping became a thing. So we talk. I'm sure there's players out there that flops more than LeBron. We just don't know who they are.
Yeah,
we don't because we don't know them.
Right.
But Rodman was the king. Rodman was the king of flopping, and it was like his calling card. He's going to draw 4 or 5 offensive fouls today.
Right.
And they're all going to be flops. That's what he does. He gets up and he bump into you and go flying. But anyway.
All right. Well, that's all I got for you guys tonight.
And that's more than enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enough. Well, I want to thank y'all for joining us. This is the WayzVerse. It's going to be moving to Fridays next week. So to look for us on Friday night next week. We got to find a way to go live. We should start going live.
Okay.
We'll have this conversation before next week comes, but it'll be cool if we start going live. Find a way to do it. YouTube, we go live YouTube, something like that.
Right.
In the meantime, and in between time, you do your thing and I do mine. I'm your boy OG Tim Wilson. I'm here with Big Ed and Waze. This is the WayzVerse. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, the What Up Those Show Network, and also make sure you like the shows because we like the shows and we want you to like the shows with us. All right, so we'll catch y'all next time. We out of here. Peace. Ow.